Welcome back to another week on Hit the Gap. Origin Game 2 has concluded, and while not the result we wanted, it's taken us to a decider. Something to look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, no dead rubber this year. Could have easily been, but I think Madge actually. I mean, we discussed it a little bit in the previous potty, but I think Madge really did improve his choices. I think in some of those spots, and I think a lot of the choices made a lot more sense. And it was overall a much stronger team, that's for sure.
Yeah, selection wise, I mean, it was a better team in the end. Although I did like the Game 1 team. I think, yeah, like you said, we did speak about it. We did like this one a lot better, probably.
This
really.
one was terrifying.
They were all utilized very well. The only one which I think, if I had any criticism really, that didn't seem to have as much of an impact as I thought would probably be maybe Connor Watson. Coming on off the bench there. He I mean, didn't fuck anything up by any means, but yeah, just a bit, I guess, uninspiring in comparison to what we probably thought or the potential that was there. But you know what I mean? It's one game or part of a game.
He just didn't really get used in the way that we thought that he would get used. Like Billy used all his 14 and 9 players.
But,
like I guess people that play 14 and 9 constantly anyway. But it was. I still think that Billy did better with that, but can't really say that until we get the win, can we?
Yeah, exactly right. It was probably, like you said, they were utilised a bit more efficiently, rather. But that being said, I don't think Madge really needed. I mean,
suppose it didn't really matter, did it?
Yeah, Robson went off. It didn't, but Robson went off, and it didn't look like he needed to. Like he probably could have played that whole game and continued putting in, the same effort and having the same output. But just giving Connor a bit of time and slotting him in there. But I digress. Criticism, not criticising to escape the result, but yeah, 38-18, pretty disappointing. First half was a thrashing, really, like a trouncing. We were just copping it left, right, and
I mean,
center.
I don't want to blame, referees and whatnot. We'll leave the pettiness out.
Well, you can't. I mean, you can't. End of the day, you can't.
It's 38 points, mate.
Yeah,
38
you
points.
You can't blame Klein for the result by any means. The first half of the first half, even specifically, was heavily dictated or I would say controlled by Klein. And I mean, even if you're a Blues fan, you're lying to yourself and everyone if you don't agree with that. But
I think there's a few TVs around Australia that could have had a remote thrown through it.
Oh yeah. In Queensland,
maybe a couple of families split up, staying in a hotel now.
A few Hisense TVs up for grabs.
Thanks, bro.
Needing to be purchased. Hisense, shout out if you're looking for anyone to sponsor. But I mean, very, very heavily dictated and controlled by Klein. Like I said, specifically that first half of the first half. But again, that's not why the result went the way it did. New South Wales got the opportunities and took full advantage of them. Like, they played well. They played really fucking good. That's the fact of the matter.
I think the selection people that we particularly honed in on during our analysis as well, our pre-game analysis, really stood up.
Yeah.
You can't watch that game and say that Latrell did nothing. I think Latrell was probably one of the best on field. And I'm not exactly the biggest Trell sympathizer or anything like that, but because he is his own worst enemy at the best of times. But I think he had an incredible game. I think he will be there in Game 3.
Yeah, well, they're silly if they don't pick him if he's fit. I mean, the matchup, comparing him to Holmes, comparing him to anyone, you're probably going to chuck in centre there. Really is going to be a battle for Queensland no matter what. So common sense prevails there, right? Like if he's in form or if he's playing well or he's played well in that position, which again, further your argument of him probably needing to play centre instead of fullback. He's. I mean, why wouldn't you pick him? You'd be silly not to. He ran amok on that side. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't think he changed the game in any way, or I don't think he had a huge impact in terms of the scoreline, but he did his job and he did it well. he didn't fuck anything up other than some of the fucking stupid tackles he made. Like, that shit he's still got in his game. It's ridiculous. But he played the game well, and he did his job well, and that's it. Like, he just dominated that edge the whole night. He got a try for it too.
I don't think he took an L the whole night really on that edge.
Yeah, Edwards, I think, set him up when he ran through that gap and ran 40, 50, maybe even 60 metres and got that try in the corner there. So, yeah, no, definitely. And Crichton again, very good on the other centre there, just doing what he does. Martin, again, very aggressive. As much as I'd like to see him dumped on his head, to see his head recede a little bit further between his shoulders. Yeah, he just, again, aggressive. One that, and it was pretty, prevalent for the whole match, right? Like, Queensland just didn't match that energy of New South Wales.
No, not even close.
They didn't get, the first 5 minutes is probably the most they did, really.
I wouldn't even say that matched it.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes was probably the closest they got, where they just sort of came out, and it was the start of an Origin game, for all intents and purposes. But they just couldn't get back there, or couldn't compete in the end, really, with it. That's probably one thing from the Queensland side I thought we're really lacking, is people like Flegler, Gilbert, even Tino, just a big body, someone to come in and just with some mongrel, make some heavy, hard tackles. Because as much as I love Cotter, he's not a middle forward. Or he probably shouldn't be a middle forward with that expectation on his shoulders. Look at the fucking size of him. He's an edge. He's an edge back rower or something. Sure. You know what I mean? But he gets in and digs. That's what I love about him, and results have come other times. But yeah, just this time, boys couldn't stand up to it. The aggressive forwards, everything, like the whole team, just, I think, without
crumbled.
that disruption in New South Wales, I should say, without that disruption of losing a player, they game plan came together and they did real well.
Big time. I think the crowd was pretty the atmosphere was incredible.
It was.
But my God, it was a loud New South Wales crowd, that's for sure. So we'll have to see if that same energy rides when they come to the Cauldron in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, there was. It was at the game, because I was at the game. It was majority Queensland fans, I would say. But yeah, the New South Wales were very chirpy, as they deserve to be. They were in there acting like they'd won their third straight series after the first win, which, you can't really blame them, right? Like, the team played well, and they've been sucking on a fat one for the last.
They need a little something, bro. They need a little something.
Yeah. I'd be stoked too, to be honest. But yeah, very, very chirpy, very loud, getting behind the boys.
Where's your Queensland spirit now, Thurston?
It'll make for a good game 3, definitely, up at Suncorp there. We're probably pretty lucky that it is in Brisbane. I'm sure there's going to be a big New South Wales presence anyway. But
that stadium is going to be so tight, bro.
It'll be pumping, yeah.
It's going to be tight.
We've been to a few, so we know what the atmosphere is like there, but yeah.
Have we been to a decider, though? No, I don't think so. I think we've been to game 2s.
Yeah, a few game 2s. A decider. Well, yeah, no. A decider for one team or the other, maybe, but you know what I mean? Not a game 3 decider.
Not a game 3 decider, yeah.
Yep. We'll have a quick look over. Tries are 38-18, so as much as New South Wales fans like to, or journalists rather, maybe not just fans, journalists like to call it a thwomping, it was a far better result than game 1. 20 points difference as opposed to 28 or 30 something, I think it was. But
yeah, it was 38 in the first game too. I believe it was 38-10 in game 1 and 38-18 in game 2. So, realistically, it's not as clear cut, and I still think there's a lot of potential in what Billy's side has. So I don't really think he's going to make many changes, but I do believe that he needs to somehow find a way to get Fafita back in there.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't make, I don't see him, like you said, making many changes. I hope he doesn't make too many, but yeah, I tend to agree.
If I'm going to change anything, I think there's probably only maybe 1 or 2 people, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's purely only to get Fafita in.
Yeah.
And Cobbo, that's probably it. I guess by definition, you'll have probably Hammer move to the wing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, I imagine Hammer move to wing and Cobbo moves to centres.
Either or, you could. I would think. Well, they're both playing. Cobbo's playing centre at club level, but either or could. most definitely. I mean,
You'd have to imagine Hammer goes wing, though.
Hammer's probably going to be utilised same as he did in game one, where if
there's no coach now, so
if Walsh goes down, he goes back to fullback. So either or could slot out to the wing, which will be handy. But yeah, you're right. I'll probably see Capewell and or Kafusi dropping out of the side, I would imagine, just because they were probably more or less necessity picks. We are missing some big bodies around the team at the moment, unfortunately. Liam Martin going over for that first try. That was within the first 10 minutes, or at the 10-minute mark, I think. Just sort of busted through and almost strolled through, really. Nice hard run. Then Toto, Lomax, Toto again, and Latrell.
Toto, I think Toto was the 2-on-1, so he did. Well, it's classic Toto things, really.
Yeah, jammed where he bumped a few, and then right in the corner, I think he dove over. He did quite well. Lomax getting another one, as well as Dylan Edwards towards the end there. So that's where their sort of points stopped, was in that second half, and then ours all came in the second half. But not enough, unfortunately. Lomax's kicking percentage was really good. He got 5 out of 7, which was solid for him.
I just feel like the boys were very, very frustrated in that first half.
100%. They were almost defeated. You would say
it was just peak tilt. It was like peak tilt. And I think if you don't get some of the results that are out of your hands, for lack of better, less offensive terms, I feel like you don't see the same result. I feel like you see a much closer game.
Yeah. Like you said, they just couldn't match their energy. There was a chain of 6 agains in the first 10 minutes. I think it was. That's sort of where the tide started to turn. You could see it was 6 again.
It was like
6
5.
again, 6 again, 6 again, 6 again. Off, and it was only a couple sets in that those were happening. So it was
frustrating to watch.
A couple sets rather, a couple tackles in, they kept happening. So it was a bit.
If it was frustrating to watch, you can only literally imagine how frustrating it would be to play.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. But
the boys did well in that second half. They won that second half.
Definitely.
Handedly.
Yep.
Handedly.
And New South Wales just took full advantage of it. Mitchell Moses stood up. We'd seen him last year coming in game 2, and although they lost, he arguably did quite well. And then game 3 as well. I think it was him and Cody combined. They did real well, and he's come back in again, and saved the day, or kept it alive, for lack of a better term.
You'd have to say that between the two, probably without reasonable doubt now, that Moses is the big game player and Nico is not.
Yeah. As far as what we've seen, I mean, sample size from both, right? You've really got to put your faith in Moses now. Unfortunately for Hines, because even at club level, he's almost taken a little bit of
shambles,
a little bit of a confidence kick or whatever, kick in the nuts. Not kick as in he's doing well. Like it's actually, sort of.
You know what? Even worse, he missed one in front of the post this week too.
Yeah, against the Bulldogs. Yeah, the dropout off, or the field goal off, I should say. Yeah. I think it's all that stuff's probably just combining a bit.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, which, I mean, it is what it is. It doesn't help when the media and everyone's piling on and shit like that. He's just in a bit of a form slump at the moment. I think it's probably, maybe even potentially, just in his head a little bit. But
and no pun intended from this week, but he has been dogpiled in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So he'll come good eventually. He will. They all good players do, but yeah, it just might take him a little bit. It's a bit of a rough patch at the moment. Hopefully for the Sharks, it's sooner rather than later, so they can keep their top 4 hopes alive anyway for that finals run. But yeah, that's probably about it. I'd say for Origin, there's not really much more to talk about. I think Edwards, in my opinion, I don't think Edwards offered a huge deal more than what Teddy has so far, but you can't really
hard to really quantify it, because we didn't really see much from either fullback in the game.
Game 1, you know what I mean. Oh yeah, Reece Walsh was almost, might as well not have been there. I mean, in defence specifically on the goal line, but in attack as well. Yeah, I mean, it's only one game, so... I
mean, realistically, I'd probably even argue that both the fullbacks failed in this game.
Yeah, I don't think Edwards had a bad game by any means. I didn't see him do more than what we've seen Teddy offer.
That's what I mean, yeah. Maybe he slipped less and got his arse out less. That's about it.
Yeah. Although he did go over for a try on that, and he did set up a couple, so he did his job. But yeah. So, and again, only one game, so you can't really can't really judge just yet. This is game 3 is the game to prove it. You know what I mean?
100%.
Jumping over to the women's origin, Queensland saving the day there up here in Townsville, getting the win 22-6. It was a very wet weather game. It was raining the whole match, I'm pretty sure, and I don't think it really let up at all.
And one thing is for sure, them Blues girls, they prefer the dry weather.
Yep, Sky Blues maybe just not too used to wet weather footy. I'm not too sure, but it did come into effect. Both teams had a lot of lost possession, drop balls, etc., etc. But
I felt bad for him. It was
yeah,
I don't think I've seen so much drop ball. Man, it was rough.
Women's Maroons team just seemed to sort of have a little bit more confidence or quality with the ball handling and that in the wet, which was tough. Tough. It just sort of provided a lot of opportunities for Queensland when New South Wales coughed the ball up and whatnot. They did get away with one nice runaway try, which was good. Might have even been an intercept or something, I think. But geez, it was good that down from the probably 20, 30 metre mark all the way down to get a try. No one was catching her. But yeah, 22-6 in the end. It was pretty good game to watch, to be honest. I mean, in comparison to the 22-12 loss in game 1 there. I'm not too sure really because I didn't watch that first one, but I'm not too sure whether there's been a big lot of changes between both sides or not.
No, I don't think so.
But they've been pretty consistent, you reckon? Yeah,
pretty sure.
But it just seemed like the complete opposite. It was a reverse of game 1. Game 2 obviously being a lot closer and only winning by 1 point to keep the series alive. But yeah, the Queensland Maroons women's team taking away the first 3-game Origin series. So, and I mean, sellout. The stadium was packed.
I've never seen so many. I think I've never seen so many people there.
Yeah. It was a Broncos Cowboys game, or even that. I think they likened it to similar to the Para Cowboys.
Yeah, the prelim final.
Yeah, a year or 2 years ago. So it was good to see, and it's only going to keep growing. So very good for the women's game for sure.
Personally, I think it was actually bigger than that game too, which is. That's epic. That's awesome.
Yeah, 100%. We'll jump on to the round 17 results and flick through them real quick. So, like you said, Hines unfortunately getting dogpiled a bit in the end there. Bulldogs coming away with the win against the Sharks. Bulldogs are here to play. They've made their
dark horse.
Yeah, staked their claim. They've made it pretty clear. It's a lot of probably Seraldo's vision and even Gus for the most part, you could say as well. Seems to be coming to fruition, coming together finally. The teams really, you hear it a lot at the moment, but they really enjoy playing football together and they're really enjoying the game, playing with each other. So it's results are showing, you know what I mean? And Sharks just in that little bit of a slump. There's a few good individual efforts, but just stuff not. I don't know. They've been in a slump for probably about a month now, right?
Probably closer. Probably about a month and a half.
Yeah.
At least 5 or 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yep. It did end up. I mean, it ended up going to Golden Point, did it not, or near Golden Point? Oh, geez, I don't even remember.
I can't even remember now. Yeah.
Because I know it was a good lot of field goals.
I should know this because I watched it.
It was a good lot of drop goals and whatnot. You know what I mean?
It did.
Yeah, 83rd minute, Burton got that. So there was a few kick attempts taken. I think Trindle took one as well and missed it. Burton took probably 2 or 3 and got there on his third with a massive fucking.
It was a dude. That was an epic one actually. There was one that he kicked from like 55 out and he nearly got it. It literally went like this is the goalpost.
Yep.
Like
Fittler, I think each time called it that he's got it, but he didn't. It was almost like he was just calling that he got it each time to just in case. But yeah, good kick in the end there that got him over.
What a luxury it is to have a player on your team who it doesn't matter. You can literally put up like a 15-meter set or a 20-meter set, but it doesn't matter because you're just going to kick the ball 70 meters, bro. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly right.
That's such a luxury, man.
Yeah, we've seen Burton do it a couple times, kick from sort of odd positions or far out and just nail it. So it was a good win for the Dogs in the end there. That's going to bump them up the ladder or put them in 5th, hold them in 5th. I think they're equal 5th from there up to maybe 8th or 9th place, possibly. But Yeah, keeping them in there and keeping that finals run hopes alive. I mean, we're nearly at round 20. We're not far off round 20, so we're getting to the pointy end of the season. If
2
they
months, man.
if they can,
It's gone quick.
if they can keep a couple wins together, getting a couple wins together, and keep that for and against good,
They've still got buys up their sleeve too, don't they?
possibly
one
one.
bye.
I think.
One bye.
Yeah. They'll. I think they're in contention to play finals footy for sure, for the first time in a little while, which is good. We'll jump on to the next game, the Warriors-Broncos game. This one was just a bit sad. All the Broncos Origin reps were rested, but even then I didn't really see it going the way that it did.
No, not at all. I saw, I was looking at the teams. I'm thinking, man, surely we got a few boys standing up here tonight.
Yeah,
and geez, I was very disappointed. Very disappointed. I think the only thing that was really cool about this game was Tuvasashek.
Yeah.
Big RTS. He's finally got himself a meat pie after weeks.
Yep.
5 weeks, 6 weeks, I think.
Yep.
So he's finally got himself a pie.
He's back in the game. Got some points on the board.
Yes. Yeah, I know he got one real early when he first came back.
Yep.
But then between suspension and injury
being the big one, I think, as well. Yeah, definitely.
Finally comes back and he gets one, and that's awesome.
Good to see.
Yeah, it is awesome, and it was a cool try too. So
I think Tamara as well, making a claim for himself.
Jeez, hasn't he really?
Yeah. I mean, for someone that's sort of, I wouldn't say a fringe player, he's been in and around. It's just been injury and stuff that's sort of kept him out over the last two seasons.
I mean, geez, it's a great story though, right? Like, I mean, there was a chance that he wasn't playing again.
Yeah.
Like, man, that brain bleed.
Yep.
So it is just to see him come back and do that and really actually take this Warriors team by the scruff and show them how to play. It's been good. It's been good to watch.
Yeah, since he's been at the Warriors, he's played a few positions. I think he initially started at fullback potentially there, and then when Chance was signed and told he'd play fullback, I think it was he sort of moved back into the 5/8 position, or here and there he's playing 5/8. And now filling in for Johnson in Johnson's absence due to injuries. Playing at halfback, and he looks like he's just, for someone whose form at the Warriors thus far, or up until recently rather, has been a bit hot and cold. He's he's really reining it in. I think the boys are buying into his gameplay style. You know what I mean? So
you got to feel for Johnson too, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. He's getting toward the end of his career.
You'd probably even look. I actually still question if he's even going to come back.
Yeah. Well, I think he's open to going around another season, but that was all before he injured himself. So whether he, who knows what's going to happen.
I think he maybe came because he did the Achilles earlier in the year as well. So
came back a bit too early.
I think maybe a little bit too early, and
you
gotta hope that it's not going to be a like an ACL type deal where you do it once, you do it again, and you just can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably almost. I mean, you would think Tamare is likely going to be his replacement anyway once he does retire or whatever
you have
happens.
To believe so, right? Sure. Adequate though.
Yeah, exactly right. Now's the time anyway to get him in there, and
blot it in.
Even if he's Johnson does come back and takes that spot back for however long, you've at least given him that run, and you've got that confidence he can jump in there. But Warriors coming around to win 32-16 for the Broncos, who are unfortunately on a bit of a slide down there. The next probably 4 or 5 weeks going to be really pivotal, I think, for them in terms of solidifying a finals position. We don't want to see
last year,
2 years ago rather, the
year before,
the slide straight out of the 8. I mean, albeit it's not that bad, but we don't want to see that again for someone that played grand final the year before. So hopefully they can rein it in a bit, and Reynolds shouldn't be too far off, another 4 weeks, you would imagine, possibly.
Yeah.
4 or 5 weeks at most.
21, I think it said. 21, 22.
Maybe not even, 3-4 weeks. But, hopefully they can rein it in a bit and
just string a couple of wins together at least.
Yeah, exactly. We've still got them yet here in August, start of August. So we might even be the one that snuffs them out.
Pray for the general, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Next game, Knights and Eels. Knights coming away with a pretty good win in this one, 34-26. Eels are just sort of struggling all over the park at the moment, very bottom of the ladder, but they just, I don't know, don't really have much to offer.
Name a team that gets carried harder by a centre.
Well, even both centres, right? Like Talagi and even Pensini's Pensini's been unreal for him this year and probably last year as well. But
I'm thinking the Knights though.
Oh, Knights. Sorry.
Old mate
Yeah,
Bradman.
Bradman Best. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, man.
That game in particular, he put like 300 and something meters, man, as a center.
Yeah.
Brother.
We spoke about it weeks ago, I think. A couple of weeks ago, we spoke about it. But he's really, in Ponga's absence, just taken the mantle and stepped up for
That's
the whole
a real
team.
cult hero right there.
Yeah, exactly.
For
the team as a whole, he's really just stepped up, and it's yielding results. You know what I mean? He's getting tries all over the park.
Do have to say though, I think that the Eels were dudded this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think technically the Eels won this game.
Mm-hmm.
I still believe that both Blazers' try was a try
and
Sivo's try was a try. I was probably the most disappointed with refereeing that I have been in a game with this game until the Cows played the next day.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
We'll get there though, but my goodness, Eels fans, I apologize. The Knights did play well, and they took their opportunities, but I apologize. That's rough.
Now, the Talangi try over in the corner, I did see, but the Servo one, what did he get ordered to get revoked for? Called back for?
I believe it was revoked for a knock-on, which it was. I'm pretty sure it was knock-on, but it was a try in the corner. It was definitely a try.
Yeah,
there was no way it wasn't a try.
Yeah, right.
He didn't go out or anything, so they just. And I'm more annoyed because it was my multi too, and I needed it. But anyway, I couldn't believe that wasn't a try, and then for literally like 10 or 15 minutes later or something, for them Blaze to then go in over the other side, and then with the whole rolling thing, that's a try any day of the week, any day of the last millennium.
Yeah,
was a try.
They changed it to constitute as long as there's downward pressure. If it hasn't separated from his hand or arm or whatever, if it hasn't separated and then he grounds it, but if he grounds it and there's downward pressure, and it's a try, right? That's what they changed it to probably a couple of seasons ago.
And for Annesley to come out and do like a 5-minute presentation on it of angles that also shows it being a try, and him saying it's still not a try, actually made me want to put my fist through the screen. But
God, please, guys, just believe me, please, bro, please. Yeah.
Under our opinion. Fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, we can harp on about it. Everyone watching the game at the moment, even if your team benefits from it, everyone watching the game at the moment knows how dog shit the quality is. And look, again, we sympathise in some respects. It wouldn't be an easy job, pretty thankless job as well. But fuck me, man. It just when it dictates games like that. It's
tough go.
It's tough. And it's abhorrent because it's, you know what I mean. Any other job, if you're not doing your job correctly or you consistently, people have fuck ups from time to time with everything in life. But if it's just so consistently bad, and the idea is just back them, just back the refs. It's like no, man.
How can you?
Yeah, how can you? Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it again. And I'll reiterate it as well. Para fans probably hate you anyway because you're a Para fan. But I do apologize.
There's some good ones out there. Shout out Jesse and Joel.
Shout out Jesse. Shout out Joel.
Joshy.
Yeah, fuck. That was a rough game. Sorry, boys.
Yeah. Next game being the Storm Raiders game. This one surprised me a bit. I really thought the Raiders would have turned up a bit better after the thrashing, the hiding they received. But I don't know. They're another team just on a bit of a slide at the moment. Don't really seem to have any solid footing. They're not still without Fogarty, mind you. So that's a big thing. But Weeks has done all right in that position. Not the same caliber player.
Weeks was absolutely tortured on this night, though.
Oh, yeah. Drop balls.
Jesus Christ.
Everything you could think of.
Both Wishart and Hughes, they wanted to ensure that he had the most frustrating and worst night possible.
They did well.
And they did well at it, too.
It's been sort of good for Wishart, who the last few years has been much of a Cooper Johns like, where he's filled in when the opportunities arose, but hasn't ever really gotten a good good opportunity or solid run at being in the first grade side, and when he hasn't really produced anything. But this season, I think, particularly
He's
recently,
improved vastly.
Yeah, exactly right. There was a game or two there where I think it was himself and Pezzett in the halves, and it was just terrible. It was horrible to watch. They just had no combination whatsoever. But it's almost as if this Hughes and Wishart combination at the moment it's gone really well. So he's improved his game tenfold. He's in form at the moment, which is definitely good to see.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Raiders unfortunately just on that slide out, which is tough go for Ricky's Raiders.
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked to watch that. Shocked but also stoked because I love a big boy try.
Oh yeah,
getting a big boy try in a game is always sick. It's always sick.
Yep.
But man, it's so cool to see. I believe Joshy King. Wow, that was sick.
Yeah. Yep. The big man.
The twinkle in his eye when he saw the spot. So good.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it was Whitehead maybe who pushed out of the line. I think it was maybe Whitehead who pushed out and just let him in, and it was just so funny. It was so good.
I think well, you might even bring that up a bit later, right? That's probably one of the better ones of the week.
Absolutely. It wasn't much too flashy this week, but there was some good stuff.
Yep. Next game. Sorry, I lost my train of thought a little bit there. I was looking at the wrong game. Next game being the Dragons-Dolphins game. This one, disappointing for Dolphins fans. It just, nothing really seemed to go right, unfortunately.
You can't even really blame Hammer because they do a lot better even without him sometimes. But
Fuller does amazing at fullback in filling in, but they just couldn't really seem.
They could not get anything going to not to save their lives, man. It was terrible.
First or second half of the first half, it was kind of like, all right, they're still in it, but then that second half, Dragons just ran away. They really dug their heels in. They did lose Jeremy Marshall-King, I think, part way through. I don't know whether it was first or second half. Max Plath had to jump in, but yeah, it was a good win there by the. We'll finish this up real quick. They just dug the heels and did well. Without, I think Benny Hunt backed up. Benny Hunt did back up, and they had young Flanagan do real well as well. The forward pack of the Dragons really stood up. But Dragons coming away with the win on that one against the Dolphins. We've got a little bit of breaking news come through here, which I'm sure will.
Whoa.
Yeah, big left field signing news with Townsend. We were pretty obvious that he wasn't going to be moving on with
we knew it wasn't.
Cowboys after the season, but supposedly the Roosters are signing him. Give a quick peruse through here. Veteran halfback Chad Townsend will leave the North Queensland Cowboys at the end of the season to join the Sydney Roosters to finish his career up. Now, you would think he's going to be probably the Keary replacement.
100%,
yeah, it's
100%.
Wouldn't say like for like, but in terms of experience and skill set and all that, definitely ideal there. It's not really saying too much more. It's hasn't been made official just yet, I don't think, but I can't imagine it'll take very long. Re-signing Walker and Smith is a priority for the Roosters, with Walker in particular taking a leap forward, which Sam Walker's improved tenfold. I mean, his game the last 2 seasons even has been insane. So he's always going to be that future 7 there. I think Sam Walker's is set for that, and Sandon Smith was shaping up to be the likely replacement in the number 6. So
I guess not.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's still very young. He's got to have that time, but there's not really any. Is there a contract length or anything here mentioned? I can't really see too much. I would imagine, look, it's probably Chad's getting there, so you would think it's probably going to be for 2 seasons or something at most. You would think he would likely.
I would probably say 1.
Yeah, you would think he'd likely at most go for 2 and
probably get told, no, we'll give you 1.
Yeah, Sandon comes in afterwards, or you know what I mean? He starts to take the back seat and Sandon comes in, but yeah.
That is incredible timing.
Interesting to see. Interesting to see, most definitely. It reminiscent a little bit to me of Benji Marshall, from Tigers to Broncos to Rabbitohs sort of thing to end his career. So yeah, we'll see how that goes moving forward next year. But I think I don't know. Cowboys fans are probably moving on to the next game. Coincidentally, Cowboys fans are probably
that's what I mean.
taking a little bit of sigh of relief. Some of us, but also a little bit of shock there, I guess.
We've done it again.
Yeah,
we've done it again. We've had all the boys out, and we've snuck in a cheeky little win.
Yeah, and
again,
very
did it last year.
This game, we did it against the Roosters, right?
And did it this year against the Roosters?
Yeah, it was
now against Panthers.
Very good to see this next game. The boys' defensive resolve was something not like we've seen for pretty well all season.
How many sets did we defend
on our line?
Albeit, and they didn't score.
Albeit, I think was it the same period. Drinkwater got sat down first. And then I think
Purdue?
Jackson Purdue, same. They were defending the line, and he threw the leg out, which was silly of him.
Yeah.
It's a
rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake, and it was ruled on as it should have been. So you can't be mad about him having.
I think that was the only one though. That was literally the only one where I was like, "That's fair."
Yeah.
Everything else was just
an
abomination.
Even the Drinkwater one was a bit odd because Fisher Harris grabbed him, which I didn't know you were allowed to affect the marker who was in front of you. I didn't know you were allowed to grab them and throw them behind you into the play the ball. But anyway, he did that.
Different rule set, mate.
Drinkwater didn't make. Even though he threw his hands up to say he wasn't affecting the play, Drinkwater didn't make the effort to get out of the play. Which I think even if he did, they would have played to that and got a penalty regardless. But that Purdue one I think was pretty fair. Like you said, rookie mistake, and it would have been blowing up if it was any other team, and it didn't get ruled on. It didn't actually get ruled on initially. It wasn't until a little bit after there was a stop of play.
Yeah,
and he got sent. So that's what I thought. He was very lucky there, but ruled on pretty well. And like you're saying, to your point, defending how many sets it was pretty.
It had to have been a ridiculous amount at one point there because there was, I believe, in the first 40 minutes of the game, there was something like 8 or 9 penalties. Yeah,
it was a pretty...
To them.
It was pretty classic sort of Panthers game when they somehow aren't breaking the defense or getting in. It just seems to be a roll on 6 again, whether it be... I'm not too sure. They weren't really explained. I should probably look a bit further into it before I go on anymore, but... whether it was for inside the 10 or offside or whatever.
I believe they were pretty much all offside calls, but...
Yeah. Which is odd because, how are you offside if you're standing on your trial line defending?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I have so many questions about their game. But at the same time, I just let it go because we actually beat them.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we beat them, but you know what? The boys really defended incredibly, and you got to take that.
The defensive resolve, like I said, it's something unlike anything we've seen all season. We haven't really seen anything like it, so it was good to fantastic. See. Good to see the rookies and people filling in, just doing well, making the most of their opportunity. It's really what it was. Valea did well. Even Chester, who made his comeback. I think he only got like 5 or 6 minutes, if that, in the game because he just wasn't needed to be utilised. The team just. Really, the game plan went real well. There wasn't any need for him to change there for him to come on, which was quite good.
I will say as well, this is a great time to say it, really. But man, I really enjoyed watching Clifford in that side.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to see him play more with Dearden.
Yeah, yep. And
very excited.
As we've just seen there, it looks like it'll be as soon as 2025 kickoff in 2025. So. That combination will be moving forward is going to be it. Whether even I don't see them resting Townsend.
Not only resting, I don't see them immediately releasing him either. But with our salary cap at the moment, it wouldn't shock me to see an immediate release.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be start of next season, kickoff next season, you'll see that combination start and flourish, and we'll actually be able to see it properly because obviously the opportunities they've had has been when Dearden's been off for Origin duties. So we'll see whether young Tommy gets thrown into the 7 straight away or what. But him and I think McIntyre in that game as well, probably someone that at times has been overlooked, but in this game specifically, just awesome in
Beast.
that lock
Absolute
roll.
beast.
Yeah, he did real well. Ball playing ability was solid. He was just always turning up, getting himself in there, inserting himself into the game. It was
I
awesome.
was going to say that's the main thing for me, inserting himself into the game. Man is taking runs,
Yeah.
Man.
And I mean, he's not a huge body. He's not a Jason Temolo. He's not a James Fisher Harris by any means, but just getting into it and really digging in, which was solid. Which
That's
the
what
boys,
you want.
that's what
That's
the
what you
boys
need.
did. Yeah. On the other hand, Penrith and I know they did have 4 or 5, I think it was, Origin stars rested, which seems to be the recurring excuse that I'm seeing, even though we had more Origin stars rested, but. Yeah, they just couldn't really string anything together. I mean, after that first 10, 15 minutes, it was very similar to Origin almost. They didn't look like they could just match the energy or just string any sort of solid play together. I mean, that first kickoff of the game.
Mean, they were getting pretty frustrated though as well. But I can't blame them.
Alamotti kicking off the very first kickoff of the match, kicking off out into touch was sort of pretty telling. Set the tone, definitely. They, just a lot of errors, a lot of average attack and defense at times. Just unfortunately, got the better of them. There was a few young guns that were getting a shot that did quite solid. You know, they're promising, but it's telling, man. Like the Panthers team that's been so dominant over the last 4 years is just. It's starting to get split up.
It's been absolutely ravaged.
The juniors coming through are not of the same standard or quality that said ones that have left were at the same time in their careers or whatever. It's just how the game goes, really. You know what I mean? You can have the best.
Also, it feels like some of the ones that are leaving that were really good also have, like, without sounding rude, stopped giving a fuck.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah.
Like, I haven't actually seen Sania Taruva play as, I guess, poorly as he has in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, again, not really involved as much or
not
what we've seen.
Not him. Involving himself.
Yeah.
Which is what he was. He was a big insert the last year and a half.
Every time they've had a winger, the Panthers, whether it be Taylor May at times or To'o, obviously, or Taruva, they've all just sort of dominated and been really solid on that wing. Whereas, like you're saying, you just sort of didn't really affect it that much. It felt
he's really fallen off a little bit. So hopefully, he doesn't take that to the Tigers. But
well, the Tigers are going to be hoping that. Yeah, so good win by the boys. You know what I mean? Again, it wasn't but 2 full strength sides going at it, but regardless, it's good to see. Good to see the fill-in players at the Cowboys, reserve graders coming in and just taking their opportunities and doing well again. It's becoming a recurring theme, so there may even be some first graders in the next season that are probably going to be looking over their shoulders, or they probably should be already at the moment, I would think. And last game of the round, the Roosters to the West Tigers in absolute humping, 40 points.
Bit of a try score with bingo.
Yeah, you weren't. I don't think. I mean, I always tip Roosters, but Tigers are just on a horrible slide at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, look, they've got a pretty rough run, but like, I think that run eases up a little bit.
Yeah,
we might see some more opportunity for them over the next couple of weeks, but
yeah.
Yeah, the last like 3 or 4 weeks, it's been, top 8 teams every time. So like they're gonna get ram ranched. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I mean, and there was a glimmer of hope for the Tigers this season. They were showing those signs of improvement, but unlike the Bulldogs, they've just failed to sort of kick on. It may take a whole another season yet. It's only Benji's first year as coach, but may take a whole nother season yet to see some sort of yield some solid results, and they do have some good signings coming next year. But yeah, just in that slump, in that rut, the Tigers still, unfortunately.
Yeah, pretty much.
Roosters, just classic Roosters. Brandon Smith's come back into form after his little bit of a shenanigans he's been involved in as of late, or reportedly been involved in. Rumours anyway. They're all rumours, but getting stood down for that week and missing the game. They've given him the opportunity back with Watson off at Origin duties, so good to see Smith back and firing. Sure, the Roosters are stoked about that.
geez, it's just to sort of derail a little bit. Sorry, but like they're versing Storm this week.
Tigers we're going back to, sorry?
Tigers, yeah. So they have to verse Storm this week. Then next week they've got Sharks. Like, it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
For at least another couple of weeks. Like, it's rough. They got Rabbits in 3 weeks' time, but even that's probably going to be pretty tough, especially if Trell's on the tailwind of Origin, where he's pumping.
Yeah. Trell some decent sort of form, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the old Roosters, just again, Sam Walker just in insane
putting
form.
on a freaking clinic, man.
Still,
yeah,
and continuing to just like we were speaking about just before. There, he's very obviously their 7 moving forward, and he's not far off. If Chad is going there and whatever he does, whether it's 14 or 6 or 7 or whatever happens, you'd have to think it'd probably be 6.
Dom Young cleaning up again.
Yeah, again, and even Tupu as well on the other wing there, having a solid.
I think he got a double as well. Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
I think one thing that did suck about this one was the Manu injury.
Yeah, that was it was
Broken
pretty. I'd say shock. I mean, no one really saw it coming. He just went for a palm, and then he just pulled up.
It was kind of gross though, because you heard it.
It was instant. Yeah, he just he stepped in. It was almost. He didn't injure his lower body, but he just stopped, just pulled up like he'd hit a brick wall, and then dropped instantly. It's confirmed what it is? Is it?
Yeah, it's broken hand. So, you even hear it crack in the camera. It's gross.
What do we got here, Mano? Till round 22 at the moment. So what's that? 4 weeks, a month?
4 weeks
off. Yeah.
Luckily, hands aren't too bad, right? Like if it's a hand, you can sort of just cast it up and you'll be right.
It'll be moving forward. I think will be the big one, because
rehab for sure.
You can't play rugby league without your legs and running, number one, but also your ball playing skills, which unfortunately being a centre, he requires.
He does require.
Yeah, moving forward might be a bit tough. So hopefully he heals up nice and quick for their run home there in the finals. Xavier Coates is another one talking about injuries we saw get injured. Would you look at that? Another hamstring. Funny that. What's that? The 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th hamstring for the fucking season on a prominent player, a regular first grader, prominent player, young player.
This was really gross too. When you see him land, you see his hamstring just go up his leg. It's just like,
it was. He knew too. Like he went in, away. Dived in for that try, and he wasn't getting up. You could tell there was something wrong. Bad news for Melbourne, number one, but then bad news for Origin as well for the Maroons. That's your other solid winger out due to another hamstring injury. I don't know what much more we can say, but if they don't review some rule sets or something after this season.
There's been some really gnarly injuries this year, man. It's really, really bad. So much muscular stuff. It's just
they haven't stopped either, which is unfortunate. But yeah. We'll quickly jump on to round 18. We'll do a quick review of it. So Thursday night's game, we've got the Eels versus the Rabbitohs.
God. I just realised we didn't even talk about Jack Kajerski's injury.
Oh yes, I did miss that one. Broken arm.
Yeah,
I did
definitely
see
broken
afterwards. Arm. He was in a sling and he was looking pretty dejected.
Yeah,
but I didn't see it happen. Pretty gross.
So I watched that one live.
Yep.
And it was that bad that they didn't replay it, and they actually deleted it from the Foxtel playback, so you couldn't even play back to see what happened. It was gross.
Yeah, not nice. You hate to see that because that'll be his season done anyway.
Most likely.
I mean, he's only just gone there and he's been filling in. He's been a bit of a fringe bench player, but yeah, it's his season done, unfortunately.
So, I agree, probably.
We'll jump on to round 18. Have a quick look there. Thursday's game. Got the Eels Rabbitohs. You're pretty hyped for this one.
Yeah, this one's gonna be tight for sure, man. I actually think this is Bunnies. This has got a Bunnies takeover all over it.
I would be surprised if the Bunnies lose this. They've been pretty dog shit for majority of the season, but that being said, I think the Eels have been worse. Just for what we've been seeing dished up the last few weeks. Definitely, Rabbitohs are on the up out of the two. You would have to say, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. The form's climbing.
This game could also go either way, really.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both really two evenly matched teams in a sense. When you look at it on paper.
Yep.
I think it really is going to depend on what Eels we see come out of that shed, because if we see the same Eels that went into the shed this week, so not came out, but came into the shed.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna. I mean, I would feel I'd be pissed after this week. I'd be pissed. So
you've got to think. Like, we hope that for the Raiders, it wasn't a thrashing, but they would just come back out and be ready to fire as a little bit of payback. But I don't know what to expect from the Eels at the moment. Unfortunately, even with Moses there, it's a bit tough.
I think the one shining light for them really is that no matter what, they've still got Blaze, and he's fit.
Yeah, so exactly, doing real well.
I think he's 3 points.
Yep.
No matter what.
Yeah.
I think. Who is the other winger for Rabbits? It is not Johnson. It is. Oh, I can't even remember his name now. It's on the tip of my tongue.
Maybe a quick squeeze because sorry, I lied to you. Team lists haven't been announced.
Yeah, they won't drop yet. Still another hour, I think.
Yep. But either way, yeah.
I think that's going to be a bit of a mismatch against Sivo.
Yep. Whose form's just been pretty average, unfortunately, at the moment.
Yeah, but I think that him just being the bigger body will win it.
Gagai. It is Jacob.
Yeah,
Gagai's
Jacob.
on the
It's
other
Jacob
wing at the
Gagai. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think Jacob will do him on speed, but I think Sivo will do him on the defense side of things. So
Yep.
I think they'll both have good chance of points against each other.
Yep.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
In different aspects.
Yep.
But I think the thing for me is that I think Blaze will outrun anyone on that field.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. A bit more explosive in that center position, and with his footwork in that at the moment.
Yeah, I think they'll always have points through Blaze.
Yep.
And Sivo. I think where they're going to be lacking is in the middle, and unfortunately for them, the Bunnies have probably one of the biggest packs in the league.
Yep.
Realistically.
Yep.
So in terms of sheer body mass.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I really think Rabbits will take this one.
Yeah.
I think you'll see Keon stand up as well, big time.
Yep.
He's done well the last few weeks as well, but I think he will really shine in this game.
He's one who has been, that's right, improving or coming back to solid form as of late, which is quite good to see, most definitely. Next game on Friday night being Sharks and Titans. Now, I tend to agree with you what you said a bit earlier off camera. The Titans have a really good chance of actually coming away with the win in this.
I think this is one of the greatest comeback stories of the year.
Yeah. I mean, third place against 15th place Titans there. They, you look at the two Sharks on a bit of a slide, confidence slump at the moment, with the Titans just seem to be reining it in, albeit the early on losses at the start of the season are what's keeping them down the bottom of the ladder, or what's got them there at the moment.
Have they said that AJ's back? I thought AJ was back this week too.
Let's just have a quick look at the suspected.
Because if Brumo is back this week, I'm definitely back in Titans.
Yeah. We'll have a quick look at the casualty ward just to see, 100%. And we'll see what his expected return date is. But they're just all over the park. Titans are just seeming to be on a bit more. Teams come together as well,
and especially what they did to the Warriors last week.
Oh yeah,
that was.
Humped within an inch of their life, unfortunately. Round 18, he's expected to be back. So whether he's named, whether he does actually come in, or they do play him at fullback or 5'8" or whatever.
Yeah, if you're tipping at home, watch for that one. If he's back, I think you go Titans.
Titans for sure. Yeah,
I'm definitely back in Titans.
Probably the more exciting, I would say. More exciting, one of the two, right?
Devil's advocate. This is also the game where the Sharks can potentially get their roll back if the Titans let them.
Exactly,
but
right.
I don't see that. Especially after last week, I think the Titans are going to start steaming forward.
Yep.
And really take advantage of these teams that are down on their luck.
Yep. Making a bit of a name or a statement. Next game being the. Sorry, Titans. You're going with that one? I'll go Titans as well. I think, man. I think they're probably going to be the upset of the round. That one there. Next game, Broncos-Panthers. This one should see all of the Origin stars return for both teams. You would think anyway. I still think it's going to be Panthers, man.
I think it's Riff.
Yeah.
I think it's Riff. I just, seeing the way that they're playing at the moment, the Bronx, oh, man.
Which is, it's hard, it's sad to say, but, Broncos are just in that bit of a slump, and they just don't seem to have, I don't know, there's just nothing to indicate any sort of turnaround just yet. I
believe Broncos beat them as well earlier in the year, I want to say.
Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty first matchup. I think you're right. They did.
So there's gonna be a little bit of vengeance there too.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
that's it, man. I just honestly, I think they're just on that too much of a slide at the
That
moment.
said,
Unfortunately.
I think if you want to look at it on paper,
Yep.
Broncos will have the bigger middle.
Yep.
They will have the better middle.
Mm-hmm.
I think the edges and the wings will. Maybe they even up on wing, but edges, no way. I think Riff will dominate.
Yep. Yeah, I've got to go Penrith on that one too. I think, man, even though it's up at Brisbane there, the prime time Friday night game, I still think I've got to go Penrith on that one. No, sorry, that's right. They played each other down at Penrith that last game, and Panthers did win. That's when Walsh got his face fractured.
Oh, that's right,
yeah.
facial fracture.
Yeah, but still, regardless, half a season on, I just think from what we've seen, I think Panthers are...
I've got there's nothing that suggests to me right now, especially after the last even 2 to 3 weeks of games, that the Broncos can beat Penrith.
Yep.
I'd love to be proven otherwise, though.
Yep. 3 p.m. on Saturday, Bulldogs taking on the Warriors at Accor Stadium. Again, from similar to what we just said, from what we've been seeing lately. Although the Warriors had a nice win on the weekend, and there's a few players starting to find comfort and find some form in their positions they're playing at the moment. I think Bulldogs are probably just going to edge them out on this one, man.
I think you are going to see a pretty similar thought from me, and the reason being is I think they're going to get tortured by Burton.
Yeah.
I think Burton is going to make Chance's life miserable.
Yep. Hammer him with them bombs.
Yep.
Solid kicks.
I think he's going to intentionally avoid Zelezniak.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think Chance is going to be left to it.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be drop balls.
Yeah. I think as well, although Warriors do have a solid size forward pack, players like Adden, for example, are just sort of not performing to the standard we know they can or usually do.
Even Jazz. Even Jazz is doing okay, but I don't think it's going to be enough to put up against the likes of some of those big boys on the Dogs.
Tohu as well. Tohu Harris, same thing. He's doing his job, but just not really, I don't know, not setting the world alight as such at the moment. So, yeah, they're just sort of struggling a little bit with their big boys at the moment. I think the Bulldogs forward pack will take advantage of that, most definitely. But, yeah, I think I'm going to have to tip the Dogs on that one there.
Next, I'm going Dogs.
Dogs as well, yeah. Next game, Storm Tigers. That's obviously a Storm win from what we've seen from both teams. Even you could drop 3 or 4 players out of that current Storm side at the moment, and I still don't think the Tigers have just got enough of a solid game plan or solid structure in their game to beat someone like the Storm. And Storm in first place at the moment, holding that down currently. I just don't think they're going to be up for it, unfortunately, from what we've seen.
No way.
Yeah. There's not really too much more to talk on that we haven't in all our reviews.
I would like to see someone out there who would actually tip Tigers against Storm. I don't think. I mean, we're talking about 17 versus 1.
Yeah, almost.
There's no way.
Pretty well.
It's the odds. No way.
Yeah, I mean, it's Lockie Galvin. I got to hand it to him. He's being pretty consistent there, week in, week out for them. In more often than not, a losing side.
Mind you, I've only he seems to play a lot better when Caesar's there, though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, not having Appy play out of position and filling it at 7 or whatever, and have Caesar there to sort of take the reins, guide the team around and whatnot.
Gives Galvin a lot more free time, and it's awesome to watch.
Yeah.
Will that affect this game? I think
enough. I don't think so.
No, I think the likes of Hughes is just gonna.
Pummel them.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Yeah. Next game being the Cowboys and Sea Eagles up here.
Not to mention Suolavi Fa'alogo as well.
Yeah, true. He's been very impressive this season, most definitely. Cowboys Sea Eagles up here on Saturday, 7:35 p.m. up at Queensland Country Bank Stadium.
This will be a good game. This is the return of Turbo, right?
It is, yeah. He's been reported, we'll wait for team list, but reported to return in the centre position. Something that I've heard floated, an idea I've heard floated a couple times, and then he injured himself again, and it's like they've sort of gone, oh, that might be a good idea. We should probably try that. take a little bit of stress off the hamstrings, the Travojevic hamstrings, which just don't seem to be up to all the run meters that a fullback has to do. Which
but also, I think he's got to make just as much running happen as a centre. Like from an expectation point of view, that's the issue.
Possibly, man. In attack, when he's being utilised, he will still have to do some hard carries. But
I think you can change his title and his name all you want, but when he's on that field, he's expected to do a certain thing, and I think that's what's gonna hurt Manly here.
Yeah, I think I can see the idea behind it of not having him at fullback, having to roam and be everywhere, running around the whole time. Whether it sticks, whether him playing centre.
If he plays, that I think they could. I think it's career suicide.
Yeah, whether he plays moving forward centre, I don't know whether it sticks, sort of thing. We've seen it work for some players. Val being a prime example when he first moved back into the centre, or into the centres rather.
Trell in Origin.
Yeah, Trell in Origin, or even Turbo in Origin, arguably as well. But I could see the trying to do it to prolong, for his body, try and help him out. But whether it does yield anything, I don't know. It's almost like it's damage control at this point, because he just can't seem to go half a season, unfortunately. And it's not his fault, I don't think, but it's just his makeup. But he just can't seem to go half a season without getting an extended sideline.
Built diff negatively.
Injury. Unfortunately for him, so I think Seagull's just doing everything they can do to keep him on the field and keep that strike weapon there. So we'll see if it. I mean, it might even, you know what I mean, open up some room for something. Who knows? But yeah, I think they're just trying to do something, anything at the moment, because they're almost guaranteed to have him do another hamstring or a calf or something before season's out. You would think otherwise from what we've seen so far, which is unfortunate, because he's a great player. So,
I mean, call me one-eyed, but this has got cows all over it.
Yeah, I think so, man. I think so with how they are at the moment, and we're likely to see the return of all the Origin stars, and whether that's a positive or negative thing, we're yet to see, unfortunately.
We will see.
You think Cowboys are likely to win this one so far. Manly will have DCE back, you'd have to imagine, as well, but I just think, Cowboys are going to be up for it after this week and at home. I think they can get the job done.
Especially if they continue that run of defence. If they bring that defence into this game, sucks to be Manly, bro.
Yep. Sunday's games, Roosters versus Dragons. I think this one's going to be a better matchup than the first meeting they had at the start of the Anzac round or whatever it was.
I actually think this is going to be a little more interesting than
just the Roosters win.
Both tipping percentage and bookies tell.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a little more interesting. I think it's going to be a little closer than it looks.
Yep.
Excited to see the Lomax and Dom Young match up again.
Yeah, man, 100%. 100%. Lomax he's been pretty well, in good form on the wing this year.
I know he doesn't like it out there, but fuck, you built, bro. You built for it.
Yeah, he's been solid as in Origin. He's been killing it on the wing in Origin. So
club.
Yeah, that's it. And this year, like we're saying, he's been real well, doing real well there. So yeah, it'll be a good matchup. Good to see both solid leapers. I think they both got a bit of speed on them, both Young and Lomax. But I'm still gonna go Roosters. I just think Roosters have got more on offer, and they're a bit more dangerous in attack, as opposed to Hunt being Dragons' probably biggest attack weapon or whatever. Not attack weapon, but in terms of leading them around the park and setting up plays and that. I just think there's more players there that are probably in form at the moment. Even their hookers, you compare the hookers. I think Smith's probably a bit more dangerous at hooker at the moment with the form he's in. Flanagan has been doing well though as well. Young Kyle Flanagan, I think.
Does he stack up to Sam Walker?
Yeah, no, Sam Walker or
that's my issue.
Or Kiri, I don't think so. No. No. It's one of them things where you just
even Dozer. I think Dozer stacks up to Smith, but not even. It's I think with what Smith's got around him. I can't see it. I've got to go Roosters.
Yeah, I do. I think Roosters, albeit, like I said, I think it'll be a better one than what we saw in that first matchup. Better result. I think Roosters will win that one. And last game of the round, Raiders versus Knights. This is a tough one. Probably Raiders need to win this one.
I think this is going to be the game of the week.
Yeah, yep.
I think this could be the game of the week. I think this is going to be the tightest game of the week for sure.
Be a battle, definite battle. Yeah.
Honestly, my bet's on the best, man.
Yep.
My bet is on Bradman Best. I'm thinking the Knights are going to come away with a win here.
Yep.
I'm thinking it's going to be a sad Rick Noble event
Again. This is the one I think it's 11th versus 12th, but I think Raiders, I mean, if they don't win this, I think they are going to win this, but if they don't win it, I think they could probably start thinking of next season almost, really. Like, this is one that they need to win. There's still a few games left in the season that can see them make the finals, but I think
they've still got a bye as well.
Yeah. I think it becomes very hard for them after this if they don't, you know what I mean?
It's getting into rough territory. I mean, like we said, there's 10 weeks left, man. So 10, 11 weeks left. So 2.5 months is a long time, but in this competition, that closes in real quick.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the ones they just need to win it and get that momentum going forward.
Especially when 4 and against is fucking
pivotal.
Absolutely,
at the moment.
It's in the bin for them.
Yeah,
so.
It's pivotal at the moment with all the log jam that's there, so you can almost write them off on it. Yeah. Well, that's it for round 18 in terms of our tips and whatnot. We'll have a quick look at the NRL Fantasy. I'm going to try bring it back and hopefully not curse anyone, but NRL Fantasy Tip of the Week. He's probably getting toward the end of when you want to pick him up at the moment. So if you've got a little bit of money laying around and he's still in a bit of a half slump, which I unfortunately gambled on Hines and thought Hines would come back with a big game, but he just hasn't done super bad, but just hasn't sort of kicked on like he should for his price point. Your other alternative who's very good at the moment is Jerome Hughes. Jerome Hughes the last few weeks has been on fire for the Storm. He's been getting some consecutive solid points scores. 61 last week, 74, 58, and 76 before that. So, at his price point of, I believe, $780. Let me just grab that real quick. $799. So just sub 1K under 800. Yeah, this is probably the last week you want to grab him if you can afford him, because he will jump up and probably sit over 800, and you might as well look at,
especially if they stay at number 1.
Yeah, you might as well look at Hines at that price point, because Hines is not far off that. He's dropping money rapidly, and after that, Cleary will return in the near future as well. But I think if you're in need of a solid half, it's going to get you your 50 plus each week. It's a pretty good shout. What about you for your try of the week? What do you reckon?
Try of the week. I mentioned it earlier, but we've got to run it back.
Yep.
Oh, Joshy King.
Yeah.
The big fella.
Another big man
getting in.
Yep.
But I think for me, just there's something inspiring about the twinkle in a man's eye.
Mm-hmm.
When he never sees something like that.
I
don't think he's seen it. I don't think he's. He got one. He did get one. He got one the week prior as well.
Yeah.
So this is now 2 weeks in a row, consecutive where he's gotten a try.
Yep.
But he's like, I think it's been before last week. I think it's been like a year.
Yeah. He couldn't believe it himself almost.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yep.
And I love how when you're a forward and you get tries and you just. You own it, like
the whole world's behind you.
Yeah, you own it, you know. So like, even in the post match, he was like, "Yeah, actually, I got one last week as well. Hey, note that down, boys."
Yep,
it was pretty funny.
Big things from the big man.
But to run it down as well, I mean, Whitehead pushes out of the line, trying to go for an intercept, or shut something down quickly in defense.
Yep.
But Garlic just throws the bait and then punches it straight out to the left, into the arms of big Joshy King, and he just
walks over,
falls over, literally walks and falls, and it's a thing of beauty. And I love the front shot you get of him when he gets the ball. He can't believe
it. Yeah,
he can't believe it, and it's fantastic. Big ups, Joshy King.
That's it. Good stuff. We love a big man try. Meat pie. That's probably about it for this week. Round 18, round 17, and round 2 of Origin, I think, for now. We'll probably return next. Next episode will be the preview of Game 3 of the Decider. So we might even start, for our listeners that are listening at the moment, our competition for the second Canes Crew Canetoad hat. all we're going to do for this one, I think, is either on YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're seeing our stuff, just comment your prediction for who wins the decider. And before game 3, the week of game 3, we'll pick a winner and get it out to you. I think we'll get that one out to you, and you have it just in time, hopefully, for the decider to wear and bring our boys home up at Suncorp there. There's not much more I think I want to touch on. Anything else in particular?
Nah, Matt, I think for me it's we'll talk to you before we meet you at the Cauldron.
Yep. Where Origin shields are held up. We've got movie recording stopped there, so I'm gonna have to sort something out before we do our next podcast.
God bless.
Thanks for tuning in again, as always. Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Hit the Gap podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.